Full disclosure, I am a Prius driver. I have solar panels on my roof. I've been a member of Open Harvest since 1975. I accept the science of climate change. I'm your classic tree hugger. Now I'm telling you this just so that you have a context for where the Hamlet came from. This isn't some lofty notion that we read about in a book somewhere that wouldn't it be nice if we all knew our neighbors. I love that part. That's great. It's wonderful knowing your neighbors. But where this really came from was real life concerns over what is happening to our food security. And when we started the Hamlet 5 years ago, it was motivated by the fact that we were concerned about what was happening to our environment, how the climate was changing, and how we were going to eat. It all started actually with Hurricane Katrina. When we saw what happened in New Orleans and we saw those people getting marooned with no food and civil order starting to break down, we thought, this isn't a world that we want to be any part of. And so what we decided to do then is figure out what we could do as city dwellers, living like a mile from downtown Lincoln, what we could do to try and make our food system just a little bit more secure. So I went on the internet, Googled a while, and came across this concept of edible landscaping. And the question that was basically posed was, why do we always plant things that we can't eat? And I thought about my own yard. I'd lived there for 22 years, and I did this mental inventory of what was available there. I had a mock orange, but I didn't have an orange. I had a crab apple, but I didn't have an apple. Went through the whole thing. There wasn't anything in my property apart from my measly 10-foot by 15-foot tomato patch, which my father said produced the saddest and sickliest looking tomato plants he'd ever seen in his life, speaking as a farm kid, all right? There wasn't anything in my corner lot that was edible. And I thought, this isn't gonna do. This isn't gonna work. If everybody has lawn, we're not ever gonna be able to feed ourselves. And then I found out that the lawn is actually the #1 irrigated crop in the United States. We can't eat grass. We can't have the animals that eat grass living in the city with us. This wasn't helpful. So what I did, with the support of my spouse, is I started carving up my yard. And what happened is that when I was outside for hours on end working in my garden, and there wasn't the noise of a lawnmower, okay, you know, scaring people away and so forth, is I had people, neighbors that I hadn't even known in 22 years, pop over and say, Tim, what are you doing? At that point then, I realized that we'd hooked. And in the past 5 years, we have gone from one yard with one 10-foot by 15-foot garden plot to now having 20 neighbors involved, and in this entire block, we have 6/10 of an acre that we are turning into garden. That's what we're doing with the Hawley Hamlet. If we can do it here, something like this can work everywhere. This is an idea that